When you hear music coming from Scott Lawrence's workshop in Tahlequah, you know that Scott isn't just playing around. Sure, Scott plays in a couple of bands, but when he isn't playing guitars, he's likely building them. You see, Scott makes DLorenzo Guitars, beautiful guitars, electric arch tops and solid bodies, and a style of nylon string guitar used by gypsy jazz musicians. He started making instruments in 2003.
When my son grew up and moved out and didn't need my attention as much anymore, I decided I needed a hobby, so started playing music again and started building guitars. Some people would find the work really tedious and too exacting and requiring a lot of patience. And that's the weird thing, because I am not, anybody who knows me will tell you I'm not a patient person by nature. But this, I find it so absorbing and interesting that I can just spend all day long planing a piece of wood till it's where I want it to be, and most people don't have the patience for that.
Scott works in very tiny dimensions because the sound of a guitar depends on many factors, like the type of wood, the body style, the thickness, and the shape of the body.
Some of your measurements and dimensions are critical down to thousandths of an inch, especially on the fingerboard. If you're off just by 2 or 3 thousandths of an inch, you might as well be off by a mile.
That's why Scott Lawrence is working with his woodworker grandfather's old hand tools. They allow him to control those very tiny variables at the expense of time.
It would take a factory probably about 10 minutes to build a solid body guitar. It takes me probably closer to 40 hours because it's hand built.
And an arch top like this one could take as much as 120 hours. It's the kind of detail musicians appreciate.
If you were to ask a working musician, a professional musician, they are very knowledgeable about what they want and what's going to make a guitar more playable, fit their hand, fit their sound, that they're looking for a certain tone. And yeah, they'll go the extra mile to get that, and they're just not going to be happy with something that it's just not quite there.
So in an imperfect world, Scott Lawrence is striving for perfection, but he knows the perfect guitar is more goal than reality.
And I suspect if you were to go back in time and ask Stradivarius if he ever made the perfect violin, he said no, but I'm working on it.